All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We are super excited today. We're going to be discussing everything you need to know about ADUs. And we have a special treat. We have my dear friend, Armando Lopez. He's actually the lead designer with Housable. If you have not heard of Housable, you got to look them up. They're a great company. They have been, again, connecting homeowners with everybody that is needed to make this happen, to actually build an ADU all throughout California. So Armando, you get ready?
Yeah.
Let's get right to it. So thank you everyone for joining. We have a chat. If you guys have any questions, go right ahead and start putting them on the chat. At the end of everything that we're going to go over, we'll go back to your questions and make sure we answer some questions. Armando's going to go through it as well, then also give his information in case you want to follow up and even get more detailed information. So, all right, let's jump right into it. All right, Armando, let's just start with the basics, right? And the basics are the hot topic. So what is an ADU?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me here.
Yes, of course.
So an ADU is an accessory dwelling unit. So it's a second dwelling to the main dwelling. You have to have a main dwelling in order to add one.
Okay.
So no empty lots. Main dwelling has to be there, and then you could add a detached or an attached, but we'll talk more about
it. Okay. So accessory dwelling unit, just to repeat it, so it can be an empty lot, correct, right? An ADU has to be, again, built on a lot that already has something existing.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So right there, that's your accessory dwelling unit. Now, really is who can build an ADU, right? And where?
Yeah. So anyone that's in any homeowner that's in a single family residential zone property,
okay,
or in a multifamily property, is able to add an ADU.
Okay.
So basically anyone.
Basically any homeowner.
Any
so
homeowner.
Who can build an ADU? Any homeowner that already has an existing single family property that's zoned single family.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Or also a multifamily property, right? And it needs to be zoned a specific way.
No, not commercially zoned, so it has to still be in a residential zone. So, it could be a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex. It could be 16-unit building, as long as it's still in a residential zone.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So it can be as many units as long as it's in a residential zone. Correct. Got it. Okay. And what about the size? I know a lot of people have questions about I want to build an ADU, and now I just need to know how big, how small, what would be allowed for me to build in my property?
Yeah, you could go up to 1,000 square feet per state law, but it does all come down to the local jurisdictions in your local city. So every city has a different ordinance, but for the most part, up to 1,000 square feet. Okay. 16 feet in height is the maximum for statewide. Right now, right? Although the law is still changing, but right now, the minimum square footage is 150. Okay. For a junior ADU, but you could go up to. There's no limit in bedrooms, but
so I'm going to stop you right there because you mentioned there is a minimum, right? Okay, so the minimum is 150 square feet.
Correct.
And the 150 square feet would apply to, you mentioned, a junior ADU.
Or an ADU as well.
Or an ADU. Right. Okay, so it doesn't have to be just a junior
Correct.
ADU.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know what a junior ADU is, what's a junior ADU?
Yeah, junior ADU is it's a junior accessory dwelling unit. Okay. So it's basically it has to be within the existing envelope of the main house. So it can be a new addition. It has to be there an attached garage conversion, an existing bedroom or living space, or a family room that you're converting to junior ADU. As long as it's under 500 square feet.
Okay.
It must have a kitchen, private entrance, but doesn't need to have its bathroom. You could share with the main house.
Got it. And what does the main house need to be left with in order to be considered, right? Like you're doing a junior ADU, and then the main house needs to have at least one bedroom left and a bathroom left. Do you know that, or share? But you're saying they share the bathroom.
They share the bathroom.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. And so the junior ADU is built within
the existing main
the existing main dwelling.
Yeah, okay. You are allowed to do an addition to it if you need it for egress or ingress.
Okay.
So let's say there's an attached garage, it's a single car garage, and you want to just there's no way to getting the main door installed because
Yeah.
it's on the side and it's too tight. So you could expand out 150 square feet just to allow for
if
that.
needed. Okay, got it. Okay, so that covers the junior ADU part. And then we were discussing just pretty much the basics of how big an ADU can be. It can go up to 1,000 square feet,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
The 1,000 square feet, does that have to be a 2-bedroom or could it be a 1-bedroom?
I mean, state law, the minimum of 2-bedroom on
Okay.
that, but I mean, we haven't seen anyone put a limit to the bedrooms as long as it meets all the minimum requirement.
Okay.
Right, for the bedroom standard, bathroom standard, living space. So, I mean, you could do up to 3 bedrooms to that
Oh,
if
okay.
the city allows.
Oh, so you could do up to 3 bedrooms
Mhm.
if the city allows.
Right.
Okay, so again, they go back to your city ordinance, check it out, see what they're allowing, because we're seeing that everything is changing a lot, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing that cities are kind of updating and modifying all of their ordinances with ADUs. So make sure you're always going back to your city to check that.
Mhm.
So just to make that clear, 16 feet, you mentioned
Right,
again?
so
Okay.
single story, or I mean, 16 feet is from the peak of the roof to the floor. But
Okay.
if you have enough space for a loft, I mean, we made that happen
Okay,
where there's enough for a small loft in there. But yeah, single story, 16 feet in height.
16 feet in
Mhm.
height. Okay. And then, because we're talking about, the minimum and the max that you can build, I know that it all depends. We've had this conversation before. It also depends on the type of ADUs that you're looking to build, right?
Right.
How many types are there?
There's quite a few. So, I mean, you have new attached or detached
Okay.
ADU. There's attached or detached garage conversion.
Okay.
And then you have 2-story ADU, if allowed in the
Okay.
city. Then you also have your junior ADU.
Mhm.
And then am I missing one else? No, I think that's most.
So you have the garage conversion.
Garage conversion, it could be attached or detached.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a garage conversion, detached or attached garage, then you can build a brand new one.
So in every property, you're allowed to do one ADU
Mhm.
and one junior ADU.
Got it.
So you could, if you have an attached garage that's under 500 square feet, you could do a junior ADU and then do a new detached.
Got
ADU.
it. Okay. And I
essentially
know we
have
have some
three.
samples that we can show
Yeah,
also
yeah.
that you guys have worked on. So this is going to be really cool. I'm going to share our screen. And for all of those who are watching, you're going to see, let's go. All right. There you go. All right. So you guys are seeing my screen. This is live. All right. So let's take a look at this one right here is the one that was detached, right?
So that's a detached garage.
So let's
conversion.
look at this detached garage conversion. So this is designer office garage conversion. Wow. Okay.
So this was an existing detached garage, 2-car garage.
Okay.
But the homeowner wanted partially converted into a studio ADU and then the other part as an office for them. So
Very nice.
scroll down and you'll see.
382 square feet.
Correct. And so,
Standalone. Look at that.
yeah, detached.
That's a
garage
detached.
conversion.
Oh, look at that's so nice.
Mhm.
They did a they did a Dutch door
And
there.
you have your kitchen with all the amenities, under counter washer and dryer
Yes.
combo, and then the mini.
Very smart. I mean, look at the smart design because
Yeah,
you're
Murphy beds.
utilizing like every corner of
Right.
this of the property of the studio, and nicely done.
Yeah, high ceiling, so they went with the high ceiling.
Yes, makes it look a lot bigger, makes it feel a lot bigger too. And you would think like 382 square feet is like, that's tiny, but look at this.
Yeah. you
They
have a
made use of
full-size
everything.
bathroom,
Yeah,
pretty cool sink in the corner there.
very cool. So this is an example of, again, an detached garage conversion. Okay. All right, let's take a look at another one.
So
Uh,
if you go
this one
down
right
there,
here?
yeah, so that's a Spanish style attached ADU. So this is connected to the main dwelling.
Okay.
So when you do an attached ADU like this, depending on the square footage on the main house, you could, if it's a large main dwelling, you could only go up 50% of that dwelling.
Yeah.
If not, the minimum is at least 800 square feet that you're allowed to build.
Okay. And this is 416 square feet.
Yes.
1 bedroom, 1 bath.
Mhm.
So this was an attached, this wasn't an attached
No,
garage. It was
new.
just newly built attached ADU to the actual property.
Correct.
Oh, look at that.
We kept the same style.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's darling. That's very nice. Spanish style, kept the same colors all throughout.
Yep.
Okay, and this is the inside.
Pretty good sized kitchen.
Very
So,
good sized kitchen.
you know, all the designs are with our service, and you know, we work with the customers to make sure, you know, we meet all the needs and wants, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, they're happy right here. Look
yeah.
at them. Look at them. They're like, we're happy we built it. Very nice. Oh, here's the design.
So this one took about 21 months,
Okay.
which is pretty long. It's not typically like that, but that's just because the homeowners did the work on this, so they
Got
took their
it.
time.
Okay, because that was going to be one of the questions that, you know, that we were going to move on to as to once we go through the different types of ADUs, how long is the process, right? From beginning to end, once someone has an idea and starts doing the design, works with the city, and then till the end, till like you're happy right in front of your ADU.
Yeah.
And I know that as we've spoken before, I know it just depends on what type of ADU you're building, right? And then working with the city, if you're in a historic district, I mean, we've seen it all. But this one is really cool to see, a Spanish style.
Yeah, and usually, you know, garage conversions from start to finish, you're looking 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
A new build, probably 8 to 12 months,
Yeah.
depending on the square footage.
Well, because you got to get foundation on,
Right.
of course. Okay.
And then if you decide to go with the 2 stories, typically 12 to 14 months.
Oh, you know, let's look at a 2-story. Do you happen to have a
Yeah,
2-story
if
around
you
here?
scroll down.
Here it goes. This
No,
one.
keep going. That's a garage conversion in
That's
a
a garage
coastal zone,
conversion.
which is interesting. Then we have a duplex that we talk about.
Oh, we'll look at that. We'll look at that one too. But I'd like to see the
Go up a little. Sorry.
And this is Housable.com, you guys. This is the company that Armando works with. And again, he is the lead designer for Housable, and they are, I mean, they're building ADUs
Everywhere.
everywhere in
In
California.
California.
Yeah, everywhere in California. But you know, this one right here.
Yes.
All right, 690 square feet. It's over a 3-car garage, detached ADU. Look at that.
Yeah, and parking is not required in most areas as long as you're within half a mile of public transportation.
Okay.
But in this case, you know, they still wanted to have some parking, which is a great solution. And they have the 3-car garage with the large ADU above.
Detached 2-story, 690 square feet. Wow, look at that.
It's a pretty good size unit with the balcony. And
so as long as, how far that to be from transportation, half a mile?
half a mile.
Walking. Okay, so as long as you're half a mile from public transportation, you are not required.
Correct.
You're not required when building an ADU, you're not required to also provide parking or build parking.
Yeah. But then we would double check again with the local city, because if there's HOAs involved, you know, we have to double check with the HOA.
Yes.
Historical districts.
And I was going to ask about historical districts because, you know, here in Long Beach,
Yeah.
we have quite a bit of historic districts, right? And we were just speaking with Shayna, actually in Carroll Park. She may be joining us today. Shayna, write us a little something on the chat if you're here with us. We were just chatting with her that because Carroll Park is a historic district, that just made it take a lot longer, right, than expected.
Yeah, and you know, they have to review the architecture design. There's a lot of input that they have to you know, put into place, but an ADU is not necessarily denied by them. It's just we have to follow the certain guidelines, which, you know, that is part of the process. Yeah.
And when a historic district, of course, you got to follow even more guidelines, right? Because everything needs to just look very like a nice marriage all together. So very cool. I love to see that. Okay, so we've gone through the detached. This is over the car garage, over a 3-car garage. Which one is the duplex that you mentioned that we were going to take a look at?
Scroll down, I believe. Keep going. There we go.
This one right here.
Yeah, but even before we go into this, so the setbacks just for the other type of projects, you know, any new detached ADU has to be within 4 feet setbacks from the rear and the side.
Okay.
Property line.
Any new?
New.
Okay, so any new ADU that's being built needs to be 4 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in a minimum 6 to 10 feet from the existing dwelling or any other structure on the property.
Okay.
But again, we'll check with the city. Some cities are allowing 5 feet setbacks from the main dwelling.
Okay.
You know, it all depends on what.
And is that, I mean, is that pretty black and white? Or is there any gray area with cities that you guys have seen? like, oh, it's a couple of inches. Like, will
No,
they? No,
no.
they're pretty
Yeah.
exact. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're pretty precise with
Yeah.
it. And so this one that we're going to be taking a look at, it's a duplex ADU on a multifamily complex.
Yes.
How many? So it was a duplex.
Yes. So I believe there's 24 existing units in the main structure right next to
Wow.
it. And they went ahead and converted this, wasted space in the back into
And made it a
a
duplex.
duplex ADU. So now there's two, 1 bedroom, 1 bath each ADU.
Wow, 1362. So each of them are about, 700 and some, right? Six and change.
Right.
As a 1 bedroom, 1 bath.
Mhm.
Look at that. And that took about 12 months.
Yeah, 12 months. This one did cost around $400,000.
And this one was in Buena Park.
Yes.
Okay, this one was about $400,000. Well, you built
Two.
two.
And how much are homes right now?
Exactly. See that, and that's amazing. And this is really where we put things into perspective, right? When we're speaking with homeowners, because we're having these conversations with homeowners every single day as to like, do I build an ADU? Do I sell my property and purchase something that already has an ADU, already has a back unit for parents, right? To bring the grandparents closer to the grandkids. So we're seeing a lot of that. We're also seeing that a lot of the younger generation is now looking to purchase something where they can offset, right? They offset their mortgage by having a second unit, also planning for the future for their parents. I mean, we're seeing so many situations where we knew that this was so important for us to share everything ADUs.
Not only that, but you're also getting, young kids or young adults who are trying to buy a house and they can't find because everything's really expensive. So, the parents are allowing them to build in their space. The parents are getting equity, but the kids are actually funding that project.
That's fantastic. They already had the down payment money, right? They're like, mom and dad, you have the lot. Let us just build this here. Now it's costing us X amount, but it's increasing the property probably double or triple.
Right. And that's something that we're learning along the way. Like appraisers are now getting the hang of this and they're actually like considering ADUs, which is a good thing. The federal's also kind of, working on loans now to allow for first-time buyers to now include some of that funding or some of that income coming from the ADUs.
Oh, see that. And that's fantastic because I know the last time we did this, Armando and I do this all the time to talk about not updates as well, since cities are changing their ordinances about ADUs. But last time we spoke, they weren't even considering the income of an ADU for someone to qualify for a refinance, let's just say, right?
Or to buy new property.
Or to purchase a property to add an ADU. They weren't, usually you're gonna, you have another unit, the lender's already considering that future income to help you qualify. But when it's an ADU, they weren't even looking at that. They weren't touching that.
So things are changing.
But we're seeing that things are changing now. So this means we're gonna have to update you guys with another one with all of the updates. And then again, you're gonna have to go back to the city, your own city as well to double check that. Let's see, did we miss any of them? Because these are so interesting.
I mean,
let's go to
there's
some other ones.
A few of different ones, maybe a garage conversion.
Yeah, let's see the garage conversion. So we've gone through the duplex.
Let's pull up
this one right here.
The coastal.
This coastal one, 393.
Because we are in Long Beach. And
okay.
We are in a
coastal zone garage conversion. Yeah, I know that there's specific rules about that too.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about this one, Armando.
Yeah, so this one is a property in a coastal zone.
Okay.
But so with the coastal zone, you're very restricted on what you can build. You do have to go through the coastal commission, get a lot of, permits, and it's a process. We haven't really dived into that because it is a long process, but you are allowed a garage conversion or an existing space being converted. So that's what this homeowner did, converted their garage into an ADU. And I mean, if you look at it, some people would know it was a garage, but they did such a great job with the doors and it just blends in. So
it's very, very nice.
Yeah.
Look at that. And it's about 300 square feet.
Right.
Yeah, about 300 square feet. Super nice.
All the finishes. Oh, sorry.
No. And I was going to just ask about coastal, right? The coastal ADU. So would this be, is that all that is allowed for properties that are in the coast?
I mean, just by state law, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be just a garage conversion pretty much.
Correct.
So look at this, Half Moon Bay, 14 months, about 120,000 for the project cost. So that's giving you guys an idea of about, what the cost is on an ADU. I know that that's a question that as I'm speaking to homeowners when they're considering building, that's the one thing that they're always asking me on average, Gia, how much is it going to be? I'm sure that you're getting these questions every day also.
Yeah.
But again, we're seeing that it just depends how big, right? Location, what type of ADU,
Correct.
right? What are other considerations also that would factor into a project cost, Armando?
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, if you're going with the loft or a 2-story, you got structural engineering that needs to be involved. That delays the process. Excuse me. You also have like larger units. If you go with a unit above 750 square feet, now you got impact fees. So there is a project we're working on right now in a nearby city, and the impact fees are kind of ridiculous.
I've been hearing about impact fees. So can you just dive into what an impact fee is so that those who don't know and are listening in can at least have an idea?
Yeah, so impact fees apply to any ADU above 750 square feet. Impact fees are usually for schools, roadsides, additional services for the city, but they only apply to ADUs above 750. So
above 750.
And they vary per project. So the city would have to look at the scope of work and kind of look at the location and determine what that cost would be.
And what's the highest like that you've seen?
$20,000.
Okay, so $20,000, right? Let's just take, and that's kind of what I wanted to take, like, okay, the high amount. Let's just see a $20,000 impact fee for building something that's over 750 square feet.
Correct.
Okay, so if you take that in consideration, my math, right? I would be doing all my math because I'm a numbers gal. So I would be like, okay, so if I'm building, let's say a 2-bedroom at 750 square feet, what is that going to get me in rent in the future? Right now I'm doing my numbers and I'm thinking, okay, I'm coming up with $20,000, right? So
Right.
all of this I'm adding up as well. And is it going to make sense? Am I going to get it back?
Yeah, return on investment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I going to get my return on investment?
But I mean, there's also ADU grants that's available. So I mean, if you are getting a loan with the lender, you can look into that option. Those cover design fees, permit fees, impact fees. So a lot of pre-development costs, and you could get up to $40,000 for
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And that's also by city?
no, that's
a statewide.
Yes,
Oh,
ADU
wow.
grant provided
Okay.
by the state. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure that cities are also kind of rolling things up, rolling things out with.
Yeah, they're just making it a lot easier to get these permitted for most part. I am aware that Newport Beach is waiving all of their permit fees. Yeah, I don't know when they're going to change that, but that's,
wow, Newport Beach.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you seeing that in different cities? I know that, you guys, Housable's working all throughout California. So Southern California, Northern California.
right.
Are you seeing that there are some jurisdictions, some cities that are easier to work with? They have a lesser amount of time than perhaps other cities.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you guys seeing Long Beach and like the surrounding
Long
areas
Beach-
around here?
Long Beach is probably one of the easiest so far. Long Beach, I mean, Long Beach is allowing 2-story ADUs for single family resident, not multifamilies.
Okay.
They're allowing up to 1,200 square feet. I mean, yeah, I think they're ahead of the game.
Yes. And that's Long Beach, right?
Yeah.
And then the surrounding cities, we have like Signal Hill, we have Bellflower, now we just go into Orange County, Seal Beach, and those Buena Park, you guys have just
Right.
done some work on Buena Park.
Right.
Are you seeing that those are also being very friendly now to ADUs being built?
For the most part, I mean, I feel like more of the bigger cities are
Okay.
being ADU friendly, and then the smaller cities are still kind of holding back a little bit because
Yeah.
they don't want to, get their city overpopulated. But for the most part, I mean, everybody kind of follows through
Okay.
the guidance. Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so then we've discussed the types, which is awesome. I mean, I love seeing all the types that you can build. I feel like people believe, right? They have this perception that you can only convert the garage or you can
Right.
only build a new structure.
Right.
But there is so many different types that you can do. So it's just a matter of checking.
Yeah. It's
What's
a matter
allowed.
of, just get a hold of, if you want to do the research yourself, just go to the city and ask for or the ordinance and pull up your property and see what you're allowed to do. Or you could just hire, a designer or a company like us to kind of do that feasibility for you and come up with some concept designs and kind of look at what your options are and connect you to the right people to start.
And go from
building.
there.
Mhm.
So start to finish, we went through approximate cost, right?
Yeah.
Which is never like, you can never really put your finger on exactly what the cost is going to be. But also how long is the process? I know you mentioned that for bigger projects and independent of their historic district, it may take a lot longer.
Yeah.
What has been how about this? What has been the shortest amount of time you've seen an ADU been built? It's gonna be a good one.
That's a good one.
I know. Shortest.
I do know that we got a project in LA permitted in 2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. And so that went pretty smoothly. So I would say maybe from start to finish, 4 to 6 months.
4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would probably be a really
Yeah.
fast.
That's if someone already knows what they want. We get the feasibility completed, we get the designs completed real quick, and then the city actually completes it within time, then yeah.
Yeah, because everybody can have something done and now it's just in the hands of the city.
Right.
Pretty much,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Okay, so here's that question that I want to know. In all of in your experience and with all of the ADUs that you guys have designed, where have you seen like the most common hurdle in the process? Right? Does it come from the homeowner? Does it come from the city? Does it come from the architect? Like, where is it that a lot of time is spent or sometimes perhaps even wasted?
I mean,
Right? 'Cause that happens in construction.
yeah, I mean, I feel like there's kind of 3 spots, and it all varies, but if I would say funding would be one, right? Because you have to get that funding, and
Yeah.
there's some big delays with like HELOCs and right now with everything going on and the refinance or construction loan. So that process, could take 90 days. So
Right.
a customer might not feel comfortable to move forward until they actually know their budget.
Until they have that financing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't know that budget, then it's kind of hard for you to, move forward. And then that also goes to sometimes people already have that budget and they're working on the designs. And it all depends if this designs for themselves or for family. We're seeing that some clients are waiting, 3 to 4 months just on design, trying to figure out what they want. And then we're seeing those that are rental are like
Just
next week,
get
like,
it
this
done.
is it, let's move forward. Let's get into
Yes.
permitting. So we are seeing that customers are kind of just sitting there and moving things in, which is fine. That's what we're
Yeah.
there for. But we do remind them that we still need to permit this and get it into the city. So there's still another process.
So a lot of it also is where the homeowner's trying to figure out what kind of design to
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
right?
Right.
And I'm sure they take in consideration the fact that one, whether it's going to be a rental, they may,
Right.
just like a rehab, they may do it a little bit faster because
Right.
they know they're going to rent it. Or is it going to be for them? Is it
Right.
going to be for their parents? Are
Right.
they going to use it as an office?
Yeah.
So they may take a little bit more time in designing it
exactly.
to their own, right?
Which is great.
Totally
It's a good
get it.
investment.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you do it right. But that is the second, I think, big held up. And then the third would be the city.
The city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because once it's in their hands, we're kind of just waiting.
I mean, that's such great information because again, like I'm speaking to people every single day and they're like, we're lost. Like, we don't even know what we can do.
Right.
And in order for someone to say, okay, should I do this or should I do this? Should I sell? Should I find another property? Or should I just build in the property that I have or in my parents' property? Right. Like they need to be able to factor in all this cost.
Mhm.
They need to be able to see like, can we even budget for this? And does it make more financial sense
Mhm.
to build an ADU, or does it make more financial sense to now purchase a new property? Right. Or with an ADU or maybe duplex or
Right.
units.
Right.
That's so powerful. When it comes to how you guys can help, how Housable can help, because I know that there's a lot of companies out there just like Housable, right? How are you guys navigating homeowners through this process? What's your process like?
Yeah. So, I mean, we let the customer or the user go onto our website. They're able to gather basic information on their property, kind of look at some potential and look at the local ordinance. We provide that for them, right?
Okay.
So they get their property report. At that point, they have some basic knowledge of what they're allowed to do.
Yeah.
But then, if they want to kind of explore more in detail of like, well, can I do an attach or detach or garage conversion? So, we let them kind of just let us give us all the information they want to know. We'll schedule a call with them.
Okay.
We'll review their preferences. We'll review their project together. We'll kind of look at their property and kind of help them, provide as much information so that they could kind of leave knowing what they want to build.
Yeah.
And we would be able to provide them a quote for service,
Oh, okay.
so they now have at least some information on the cost. And then we could connect them to lenders if they want, some financing options. And then, we'll help them through the whole process.
So you'll do their design. So at least they have that part, right?
Once they're ready to start with us, we could start on their concept design. So we start laying out, designs. We'll do feasibility with the city. We'll go on site to do all their measurements and gather all the information that we need.
And during that process, you're already connecting them to contractors, lenders. Okay.
So we don't connect them to contractors until the design is finalized and we at least have electrical, mechanical, and architectural details so that the contractor will quote them pretty accurately. Otherwise, they're getting ballpark price and they actually need
Got it. Yeah. Okay, so then you would say that from that moment, it's like you still don't really know how much that would be because you haven't really received, the design cost, but you haven't received the cost of the actual work. Right. Okay.
And we could give them an estimate based on other projects that we worked on, or they could reach out to contractors and we could connect them. But if it's too early, they're going to look at the concept design and not know, well, how much, what's the framing and what's the structural and what's electrical.
Yes.
So, they can't really give you an accurate quote until they have more information.
Got it.
Once we get that.
So it's more detailed. Right. Yeah. That is such great info, Armando. Thank you so much. And Housable's awesome. I've been following you guys for a long time now. Yeah. I actually visited a project live in Glendora, and I was really impressed. I was really impressed to see how fast the project moved, but how great it looked, like the final project. And it was like what, 200 or 300 square feet, right?
That one was 424.
And it felt like 650 square feet because the ceilings were high, like it just felt so open. And so to actually see one live is very, very different than to just, see it as you're seeing it here. So I'd highly, highly encourage you guys to visit Housable. Take a look at some of their projects because I know, Armando, you guys are going to be having some of these, right? On the next one. So you're going to be holding it open for people to come through and at least see like what a project looks like, what an ADU looks like.
And that's what we're working on, in different areas because we do serve all of California. So we're trying to, make sure everybody in different areas are able to see a property. Love it.
Thank you so much. That was such great information. I'm going to go to the chat and open up some questions that you may have. Hey, shout out to Shayna. Yes. If you guys, we're going to be here for a few more minutes. Let us know if you guys have any questions. Armando and I are pretty committed to doing this quite a few times during the year as new things are coming up in ordinances, new laws about ADUs. We want to make sure that you guys know if you have been considering building an ADU, that you have as much information, just as much data so that you can make the best decision for yourself. And so as we do this, we also want to make sure that we get some information about how this is going to be seen for lender side, right? As people are building ADUs and they start renting these ADUs, are the lenders going to be seeing this as rental? Are they going to take 100% rents, right? And when it sells, when let's say these properties sell, is an investor also going to be taking 100% of those rents, right? Like how is it going to be looked at by a lender, by an investor, by an appraiser when they're actually finalized? So such great information, you guys. Again, we're going to stay on for a couple more minutes for any other questions that come on. Just know this is being recorded. So if you missed it, we're going to send it over to you. We're actually going to put this out as well. And we're going to continue just updating homeowners because we know that ADUs are hot. They're a hot topic right now. I know. They're a hot topic like today's weather. If you guys are in Long Beach, what are we today? 90?
Almost 90, yeah.
90 degrees.
Yeah.
Then we got water. We're like coffee or no coffee, no water today, water. So yeah, so if you guys have questions, make sure you write it on the chat. Otherwise, email us your questions. Okay. Armando doesn't live far from here either. So I'm always like, hey, Armando, we got some questions. And so we thought, okay, we got to put this together for everyone. So if you guys have more questions, have even a scenario of a property that you have and you've been on the fence and you don't know what to do, Armando, how do they reach you?
Yeah, I mean, we could provide my contact, but yeah, I think, for home buyers, we typically just, we'll give some information, but we're not able to kind of give you information on a property that's not yours yet, until you actually purchase it. So if you're in escrow, of course, we'll help you through that process, but we're still able to, provide some basic information so that you could determine if that's something that you want to do.
That's a great point, because I'm sure someone's like looking at a property and then they're like, well, there's this big lot. I could build an ADU or two. Let's call Housable. And you're like, well, you don't own it yet.
Yeah.
So.
We don't want to, recommend you to buy it or not, because, you don't know if it's still feasible. Until you actually go.
And you'd be practicing real estate, which you can't. Okay, got it. But at least you're able to let them know what could be done there if they're considering it, right? If they're in escrow, right? If they're in escrow, because by the time that you guys get a hold of a company like Housable to see if something makes sense for you to buy, it's off the market. Somebody already picked it up. So that would say that when you're in escrow, all of that investigation, that's during like your investigation process, right? Like your contingencies, when you're doing all your investigations about the property, about its title, that's when they can actually contact Housable, right? And go, okay, now I want to know what I can do in this property that I'm in escrow in.
But on the meantime, just following the state law, 4 feet setbacks and garage conversions and, you should be fine. I mean, basically anything.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I think we're about to wrap up. Thank you everyone for joining. This was awesome webinar, everything about ADUs. And so we hope to do this again, probably in the next couple of months or so. But we look forward to your questions. You know how to reach Armando. It'll be on this video. Housable.com. You know how to reach me, Gia at intihomes.com. There's all of the platforms. You'll see it underneath. And we hope you guys have a great day. So remember, if you have any questions, anything about ADUs, what to do, look at your specific scenario. I'm talking about nitty gritty with numbers. What makes sense? Which one is going to give me the most return on investment? We're here for you. Let us know. Have a great one. Bye-bye.